What's up everybody, Tommy Har with The Real Side of Real Estate. Today, I've got an amazing story for you. This house behind me, we have dealt with a bunch of issues. This was supposed to be a common flip, easy close, about to make a 30 grand on it. And we dealt with squatters moving in. We had lenders backing out of deals, taking our profit margins from 30 down to about 20. And I'm gonna share some of the real sides of real estate that you may have to deal with in the future. So hopefully you enjoy my story and also learn some lessons from it. Let's get it. All right, so to give you guys a little bit of context on this deal right here, we bought it direct to seller through our wholesaling business. We bought this house for $135,000. We put just about $40,000 into the renovation, and it's selling for $235,000. Now, it seems simple. We put it on the market, we got a buyer, everything seemed great. Now, this is the first lesson that you guys need to understand when you're fixing and flipping houses. Things are going to happen. So we had the buyer, they got through their inspection, we started doing our remedy items. So we started fixing up the house, we jetted the line, the sewer line going out to the street. All of these things were good. And even something great happened at the end. The lender said, hey, we can even close before the closing date. So that rarely ever happens. They want to close sooner. We were supposed to close on July 30th. They brought it down to July 23rd. So July 23rd comes, we had done all these repairs, everything was good. I closed at like noon. I did my online notary, I was posting on my Instagram, talking about making all this money, it was great. And an hour later, the lender calls my office manager, Sammy, and my realtor and says, we can't get this deal done. The person on the deal doesn't qualify. So we went through all of these things to now know that they can't close on that day. So we went back and forth, seeing if we could figure it out with that lender. But 2 days later, we ended up having to drop that lender and figure it out. So the two options were this. Number one, we cancel the contract, we keep their earnest money deposit, and we go to the market and we try to get another buyer at the same price, which sucks. We already did our remedy items, we already fixed things for these people, and they seemed like they were good for it. But what we did was, okay, give me another $2,000 earnest money deposit, non-refundable, because they still want the deal. That covers our now 1 month of private money holding costs, and we went with another lender for them. So now we had to restart everything. We had to do another appraisal, we had to not do another inspection, but another appraisal, and this pushed back to August 16th, which is actually tomorrow. So that was the first issue that we ran into, and the second one is even more crazy, and we can't make this shit up. So if you've been following my journey on Instagram, you've been seeing this posted in real time. A week before we were supposed to close this deal with the second lender, we got a text, or I got a text from my mom, who's my agent, saying that the buyer's agent came to pick up a Spectrum box. So Spectrum is Wi-Fi. The buyer shipped a Wi-Fi box here, and the house is supposed to be vacant, right? We just flipped it, we got a lockbox. They came to pick up this box, and the lockbox was gone. So they knocked on the door, and somebody answered the door saying this was the house that they're living in. They have a signed lease, and I got that text and knew immediately that we have a squatter situation on our hands. So how do you deal with that? So other than freaking out, I was taking a walk with my wife when I got that call. You freak out for a second. That's the only thing you can do. It's like, oh my God, we got squatters. How do we handle this? So I started calling my friends, being resourceful. That's the biggest thing, and trying to figure out how you want to attack this. So I waited till the next day. I had a walkthrough over here, a couple blocks away, but I had my team coming to meet me here at 9:30. So we were gonna talk to these tenants or squatters and figure out what the hell was going on. So I pulled up, I went to drive by to go to my office, and I saw the guy putting up a flag outside the house. I'm like, this is weird. So I pull up and he goes, who are you? And I go, who are you? And he goes, I'm living here. Well, who are you? And I go, I'm the owner of the house. We got to talk. So I pulled him aside. We started talking, and I was like, you guys, I'm the owner. How did you guys move into this house? So I'm trying to figure out what is going on. So immediately they realized what was going on, or they're playing games the entire time. I still can't figure out what was what. And he goes and gets his wife. She starts crying. They start acting like they signed a lease. So they technically signed a lease from a guy named Noah. They money ordered him the first payment. He comes and picks up rent from them in person. But they couldn't provide rent receipts. They had a lease that was actually drawn up, but no rent receipts, no proof of deposits from their bank account. They did it in all cash. So this is leading me to believe that these people are professional squatters and they were lying to me. I mean, I'm telling you, they had, and you can watch a video, we'll cut it here.
They left. This is how they look. This is how it is.
No.
So I want to, if her laptop is here, she was either doing that on her phone. I mean, they've got calendars of like when the bills are due.
Here's your phone.
And they started painting this wall over here. It's fucking insane. Literally moved in. Got scammed. TV's mounted. Can't tell what's what yet.
But they had couches, they had tables, they had plants, guitars, where Rob's standing right here. They had TVs mounted, they had food. I mean, these people were living in here for a long time. So then I cut back and I was like, well, we just had an appraisal done on the first, because remember, we had to get a new lender. So the lender's appraiser came and did the appraisal while it was occupied. Had no idea. So it was supposed to be vacant and he was confused. So then we start backtracking and we're like, when the fuck did these people move into the house, right? Because I thought it was a week. And I talked to Bruce, my project manager. Remember, we had to do remedy items for the last, or to get this thing to the closing table. We had a jetting company, jet the lines. They came on August 16th. They did that. One of our project management assistants came and cleaned the house right after that on the 18th. So between the 18th and that day, I think it was August 9th when we figured it out, these people drilled out my locks, changed the locks, and completely moved their entire life into this property. So I gave them three options. I said, okay guys, whatever you guys signed is not valid. There's three options we can do right here. Number one is I can help you guys get a U-Haul. I can give you guys some cash, but you guys need to get out today. You guys need to get your stuff and get out. Number two, and remember, I'm here alone at this point. I'm doing this all alone. Number two, I've got about 12 people coming here at 9:30 because I think you guys are squatters. I'm trying to be nice. They're gonna come take you out and you're gonna get nothing. And number three is I get the police involved and nobody wins in that scenario. So they kept going in circles, trying to act like they were freaked out, which they may have been, or they were just acting like they were caught. So what I did is I sat there, I talked to them, then my team and everybody started to pull up, and they could not provide rent receipts. So every time I was like, here's what I need from you. I need proof of rent and show me it came out of a bank account. They had all the utilities in their name, everything. So every time I would ask that, the lady, and these people were druggies, that she would go in the house, disappear for about 15 minutes, and then come out with a simple PDF receipt creator, and she couldn't show me. She also said that the whole situation happened. They rented from a guy on Facebook, which does happen. It actually happened again this week. They rented from a guy on Facebook. They took their money. They called locksmith to drill it out. So apparently he met them here to give them the keys and all that stuff. Showed them the house, told them everything, which I don't know if I believe it or not, because she can't provide me anything that's real. So I told her, listen, I can't believe anything you're saying. We're gonna have to get you out. So at the end of the day, they can't. The husband's brother was asleep on the couch, drugged out on the couch, and he said that they had to go take him to his job. So they up and left. So they were freaking out. But if you're losing your house that you just paid for and you did it legit, are you gonna up and leave your house? Probably not. So what they did was they pulled out. All the doors were locked, the windows were locked. I jumped up on the roof, got in the house. We started looking through their stuff. It's like, what is going on? So we looked through it. Nothing told us that this was legit. So I called them and I said, hey, they told us that they were gonna go get a U-Haul. So I was like, take a selfie at the U-Haul place, make sure that you're telling me the truth. So I took a picture at the U-Haul place. I'm like, okay, they're telling the truth. Come back in an hour at the U-Haul. We're gonna help you load it up. That was at 9:30. That was at 9:30. At 11:30 a.m., They weren't back yet. I had to leave because I had a private money lender, and we're buying a 32-unit office building. I have a private money lender flying in from out of town to go walk this building with me. So I leave my team here. The guy comes back, no U-Haul. So he comes back and he's acting like he's got a gun. And at that point, we were like, these guys aren't coming back. They're not trustworthy. Let's start getting their shit out because it's my house. So we start taking their stuff out. We're putting it down nicely so they can pick it up. But all of that to say, these people were just completely lying to us, and they didn't do what they said that they were gonna do. So when they came back, I was already gone, and my team was handling everything. We had my dumpster guys, we had my HVAC guy. Everybody wanted to smoke. Everybody was like, oh, I'm ready to go. So everybody was here. The cops ended up coming, and they were on our side. They were like, hey, you guys don't live here. This is not your space. You guys need to, and she was freaking out. He's like, ma'am, you need to be quiet. So at the end of the day, we got all their stuff out. They came back. And the crazy thing about this entire story, which everything about it is crazy, the dude called me and he was like, hey, and first off, I gave him my number like a dumbass. But second, he was like, hey man, like the way you guys handled that situation, I don't appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, I don't appreciate you being in my house. Like I was helping you. I also paid them $1,000, by the way. I gave him $1,000, gave him a helping hand. I didn't just toss him to the curb, which I didn't even need to do that. And I told him that. I was like, hey, it doesn't matter. What's done is done. And then at the end of the conversation, which now made me realize that they were lying the entire time, is he asked me for a job. He was like, hey, because he did this bedroom right here, he did artwork all over the wall. He said, hey, you see that artwork in there? That's what I actually do on the side. Do you think that you have any jobs for me? I was like, man, get out of here. And hung up the phone and went on our own way. So there's 2 lessons to be had here. Number 1 is never, ever, ever, ever count your money before it hits your bank account. Things in flipping real estate, owning real estate are going to happen. Now, you can't ever predict this is gonna happen, but at the end of the day, it's going to. If you do enough of these deals, there's gonna be shit that happens. Deals are gonna fall out of contract. Lenders are gonna back out the day of closing. You can't lose your mind, you can't freak out, because at the end of the day, you gotta roll with the punches and control the controllables. I can't control these people moving in. Maybe I could have had a security system, but some of these things you can't help. So number 1 is that. Maybe there's this security system now pulling up for the new buyer, so maybe not. And number 2, be confident if you're the owner. If these people are not in the house, there's legalities for squatters' rights. Now, we could have gone that way, but at the end of the day, hire some people and get these people out of your house. Like, I'm not telling you to break the law or anything like that, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do for your money, for your family, for your future. I'm not just going to sit around and let people bully me for a house that I own. I was starting to feel bad at one point. I was like, man, maybe they are. No, this is my house. I'm not dealing with it any other way. So if you guys like this story, if you guys want to see more of the real side of real estate, make sure you like this channel, subscribe to this channel. And like I said, this is closing tomorrow. We had my contractors come on Monday. It's Thursday now. They had to mud up all the walls. They had to do repainting. It's part of the game, man. The real side of real estate. You're gonna lose some money, make some money, have some hardships on the way, but it's gonna be life-changing at the end of the day. Let's get it.